There's a stunning new twist in the case of the accused Russian operative, Maria Butina. According to a report from Reuters, Butina had far more extensive contacts with Washington officials than previously known, including meetings back in 2015 with Obama Treasury Department officials and at the Federal Reserve. Robert Driscoll, Maria Butina's attorney, joins us now to tell us what else the media may be missing here in this story. I know you met with your client today.
I did.
How is she doing?
She's in protective custody in D.C. jail, so she doesn't have many people around. But, I mean, overall, taking the baseline fact of she's in jail, she's doing pretty well.
How did she find you to represent her?
I had a previous client who, through a friend of a friend, recommended me when she got a letter from Congress. Well,
she told Congress last year that she received some funding from a Russian oligarch, Mr. Nikolaev.
Right. She said that in April.
Oh, in April, okay.
Before the Senate.
And why was he funding her?
Well, because she founded a gun rights group in Russia. She grew up in Siberia. She moved to Moscow. She founded a gun rights group. Now, which is very different in Russia than it would be here. You obviously don't go the, fight the tyranny with guns approach. Mm-hmm. It was more of a self-defense, another kind of group. But it was her issue, and she founded the group. And ended up finding some supporters, and this guy was a big supporter.
And so to explain that, to coming to the United States, working with the NRA,
right.
And I'm not a member of the NRA, but I support the NRA in a lot of things. But you go on Twitter, and it's like Maria Butina helped funnel millions of dollars to the Trump campaign through the NRA, through a Russian billionaire.
Right.
I mean, they are painting a picture that is wild, and she seemed to get around. I mean, she knew a lot of people in Washington. How did she get to know so many people so fast?
Well,
I think 29 years old.
I think part of it is that when she founded the group in Moscow, she invited people to Moscow to support her group. The NRA sent a small delegation over. They met her, and then there were some essential exchanges back and forth where she went to NRA meetings, and she hosted a couple of meetings in Russia that people from the NRA came to there. And so she met kind of some senior people in the NRA. And then when she came to the U.S. to go to school, she met her boyfriend, who was active in Republican politics, and so she went around with him to different events. So she had her picture taken in a lot of places, which is not really consistent with being a spy.
Yeah,
that all the pictures you see on TV are from her Facebook page, which is open.
Yeah, but they also, one of the accusations would be also, of course, that she's an unregistered foreign agent, which is not a spy. But if you're essentially doing lobbying of some sort for the Russian government or trying to influence America through other groups or associations, you must register as a foreign agent, as our people have to register. Paul Manafort, they're charging him with that as well, correct?
Well, first of all, the history of FARA, no one's ever really charged.
Foreign agent.
And there's the Foreign Agent Registration Act. Secondly, the whole point of FARA is to avoid unwitting propaganda. It's so that if you hire a senator to write an op-ed saying that Malta is great, that former senators being paid by Malta. The point of the act is not to prevent Russian citizens who are obviously Russian, who identify as Russian, from talking about. And again,
what'd you talk about the Clinton Treasury people with? What was that all about?
I think in that instance, she just acted as a translator for Alexander Torshin. Torshin is himself a big gun guy, and so he joined her group a year after she formed it. And so that was a great ally for her to have because she's a fairly senior Russian.
Was she on? What kind of visa was she on?
On those times, I think she was probably on either a tourist visa or because she was giving a speech to the NRA. I'm not sure how those visas
For
work.
How many years? Did she have to go back?
Well, oh, yeah. She went back and forth for a couple of years. And then the most recent time, she's been on a student visa when she was getting her master's at American University in foreign relations.
And Lavrov made a big deal of this over the weekend, wants her released. Does she feel like she's caught up in the hysteria over Russia right now?
Yeah,
Is that what she feels
it's good and bad. I mean, and that obviously the people of Russia are concerned for, and the foreign ministry has got a Free Maria Butina hashtag going with her picture as their avatar on their Twitter page. But I would really like to separate her from the rest of these problems that are going on because she has nothing to do with it. I mean, she's just a student and an ambitious young woman who is active in the NRA, active in kind of conservative circles, who has nothing to do with the Mueller probe, has nothing to do with any of these things, but it comes up at this time, so it's very difficult.
Robert, thanks for giving us the update. We really appreciate it.